All right. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody. It is Wednesday, January 27th. So, you know what that means? It means it is time for Beadshop Live with me, Kate Richburg, and we've got Janice Parsons, our illustrious founder, and we have a special guest. We have wonderful Tracy from TierraCast, which is going to be, we're going to have some fun today. So I'm going to leave this tile up for just a second. Our broadcast is starting soon, so you're hearing me rather than seeing me because I've got to grab just one more thing in preparation. And then I'm coming up with you on three, two, and one. Here I am. All right, everybody. Great to see you. It's a little rainy here in Northern California today, but we could certainly use it as always. It's great to see everybody here. It looks like we've got a lot of people watching. We really appreciate all of the shares and the likes and the thumbs ups that you guys share with us. We're actually broadcasting on a myriad of channels today. So let me tell you where we're broadcasting and where you can see us because it's kind of a special broadcast today and we want to get out to as many people as we can. So as usual, of course, you can follow us on our social media at on our Instagram at beadshop.com. On our Facebook group called The Bead Table. You can also find great information about our projects and products on the Bead Table blog. It's our Beadshop blog, and you can access that through our website at beadshop.com. And of course, you can subscribe and like us over on our beadshop.com YouTube channel. It's the best place to find us because we share tutorials and all kinds of stuff right there. Well, today we're also broadcasting on live on the Facebook page on the Great Bead Extravaganza, which is a fantastic group. As you guys know, beadshop.com is one of the 17 companies that put on the Great Bead Extravaganza. It's really great. I have something coming up there I'm going to share with you about that in a second. And we're also doing our inaugural broadcast on the Great Bead Extravaganza YouTube channel. So we're testing that out today. So the companies that broadcast regularly, we're going to be able to also just flow that content, we hope, right onto that YouTube channel as well. So a bunch of places, and also we're on my Kate Richburg Facebook page, so Tracy could grab it from there and broadcast it out to all of you TierraCast folks. So we're all over the internet today live. So let me share a couple of housekeeping notes for you today. So the Great Bead Extravaganza, as you know, is coming up, or if you don't, I'm going to tell you, is coming up the first week of February. And what we decided, those of us that are participants in it, that we were really missing the Tucson Gem Shows because right now is when the gem shows start traditionally. But alas and unfortunately, with COVID, the gem shows have been postponed to later this year. But February, this time of year, end of January, beginning of February, I'm always running around like a chicken with my head cut off, getting ready to go to Tucson. And it really is an amazing event where everybody comes together. The whole town of Tucson turns into one big gem show, and we get to see our friends that sometimes we only get to see once a year. Well, we decided as the collective that we're going to do a little mini Tucson show. It's going to be virtual, and it's going to go live online on our Great Bead Extravaganza group, and then the different participants will also flow it out to their different social media outlets as well. So it starts on Friday, February 15th. You're going to join Brenda Schwader on a desert walk who lives right there in Tucson, which is great. And then we're going to have a project preview that night starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time. These are all Pacific time dates, but you can see right up there on the screen. We also have them in Eastern time. And then Saturday and Sunday, we're going to go all day, boom, 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 with everybody coming on and doing kind of an hour, a quick fun project, or maybe product, or who knows what we have up our sleeves, but it's going to be really, really fun. So that is not this coming weekend, but that first weekend of February, the 5th, 6th, and 7th. But today is all about a Tucson kind of extravaganza with TierraCast. So I'm going to flash this today. We've got a TierraCast sale going on. You don't need a code. You can stack it with a coupon, or if you're in our VIB reward program, you can stack with those rewards. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the broadcast as well. And we also have, you guys, at the end of the broadcast, we have a Tuesday way with purchase, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the broadcast as well. I just teased you with it a little bit. So I'm going to bring on my compatriots here. We have so many people jumping on and saying hello. Our buddy Francesca Watson, who broadcasts out of the Makery there in Texas. You may have seen Francesca and I in some hijinks online, which is fun. I miss you, friend. I miss all of our Tucson friends. It'll be so great. So let me come in and add Janice and Tracy. And then Tracy's going to talk a little bit about TierraCast. You'll get a little bit behind the scenes with her. And then she's going to talk about their thoughts about this virtual Tucson in a box. So here comes JP. Hi, Janice.
Hi, Kate.
It's great to see you. And then
It's great to see you.
let's get Miss Tracy. Yes, there she
Hi.
is. Hi, and
Hi,
you're coming at
Tracy.
us right from the TierraCast offices, right?
Yes, we're in my office at the TierraCast shop.
Oh, that's so exciting. Well, tell us a little bit, Tucson, we've been going to Tucson for, I don't know, over 20 years, I guess. And we would always make a date to see you guys there and see all the new stuff. So it was very clever of you to do this virtual Tucson. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys do? I can't imagine that no one knows about TierraCast, but let's talk a little bit about TierraCast and a little bit about what Janice and I have up our sleeves today.
Okay. TierraCast was founded in 1978, and it started as a casting house, and then by Stephen Tierra and Alan Joseph. And if you follow our social media at all, you'll have heard their names. They both actually have retired within the last 3 years. I think Steve retired at the end of 2017, and Alan was intending to retire at the end of 2020, but COVID changed
Right.
things, and he retired. He retired when we closed. So,
Right.
the company is, this is 2021. So it'll be 43 years. And
Wow, that's so great.
yeah, and US manufacturing, we have a shop not that far from you guys, Kate, a couple hours north of the Bay Area.
That's right, just north of San Francisco. Sorry, I was taking a drink of smoothie.
That's okay. That's allowed. So yes, still in the same shop that they started in. They started in kind of one room of this facility, and then eventually we took over the whole thing. And someday Kate is going to come for a tour. We just haven't. COVID happened, and yeah.
But we will. We will.
Yeah. So initially they cast in bronze, they cast in silver and other things. And eventually when they decided, okay, we're going to produce our own product line of jewelry components, they started casting solely in pewter. And so our products are all cast pewter, and then they're plated in fine silver, or I think it's 22 karat gold we use, and copper, and we have some other finishes. And we also do wire findings like head pins, eye pins, jump rings, and ear wires. Our ear wires are the largest selling part of our product line, and a lot of people don't realize we have them.
They're amongst our very favorite TierraCast products, that's for sure.
Well, they're super high quality, and we're kind of proud of them. And also we have niobium, which is hypoallergenic, and so that is just a wonderful material to use if people have sensitivities. So so that was it. We've been producing our own product line for, I don't know, 25, 30 of those years. And we have a new one coming out, and we miss Tucson too, Kate. And same as you, we would be frantically preparing for our
Right,
Tucson trip
packing,
right now.
trying to figure out like
Yes.
what shoes.
Oh yeah, well,
What shoes
and
we're gonna wear.
that's okay. There's the work stuff and then the personal stuff. You got to be, yeah,
Mhm.
it's a lot. So this has definitely been a different year. TierraCast people have been going to Tucson probably as long as you have. We used to do shows. They did the windmill, and then we did the DoubleTree to Bead True Blue, and then the last few years we've just been doing a private event. We've been having getting a hotel suite and doing an open house for our wholesale customers and designers, and that's been really fun. It's a little more intimate than the bead show situation. So how did this Tucson, the virtual Tucson thing happen?
Yes.
Julie really wanted to be able to, do something. So she came up with the Tucson in a box. And if you guys have heard the name Julie with TierraCast before, she's our sales rep and has been with the company for about 40 years. She's been with us almost for the duration. So she came up with the Tucson in a box concept. And when we do our open houses in Tucson, we have food and drink, it's a party, and we have a big table of make and take. We always are launching a new product, so we have all of our new stuff and a bunch of design ideas, and people just sit around this big table and make jewelry, and it's super fun. And so we decided, okay, we'll come up with the projects and we'll put them in a little box, and that's as much detail as I'm going to go into. And we'll just send it to the customers. We'll send out invitations for our customers to make appointments with us. And if they do so, we'll send them a box and go from there. So that's
Well, I was excited to get. I'm having some problems with. I'm going to take these out. Take these out. While I get my sound figured out. Okay.
Yeah, I think I've reverbed from you a little bit, maybe.
Now.
That's
a
okay.
little Darth Vader-ish on my end.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I'm going to remove Janice real quick. There we go. And Janice, why don't you, I think you can hear me. Why don't you, I'm going to take you out of the stream and add you back in. Yeah, there we go. She's going to reinsert herself into the stream. Sometimes these, when we go live, these audio issues are always super fun. So I'll wait till Janice. But
there's
while
no
we're
telling
waiting,
what might happen.
No, there's no telling on a live broadcast. Well, while we're waiting for Janice to come back in, I think that those, like, you would do these shows, like you do the big Tucson show, you do the Bead and Button show. And what I think would be so cool with TierraCast was, like, as you say, there would be like these big tables or whatever that would be laid out with all the stuff. And then Julie would be running around pouring everybody a beverage, and we would just, it would be like a really fun, creative explosion. I'm going to add you, Janice. I think you can hear me. There you go, JP. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yep, we're good.
Great.
Perfect. And so it was really kind of a creative explosion to see all of the product in one place, some that we carry, some that we wouldn't. And we could make our choices and add new products. So without further ado, let's, and Tucson's coming back, just because it's not on, it's not going away. I mean, COVID is giving us a pause on so many things that Tucson is indeed one of them, but it's going to be back. They're saying they're actually going to try and do it later in the spring, but I think it all depends on the COVID protocols.
I'm willing to wait till next year, and I think it will be back because people miss it. And when there's the opportunity, we'll all be there.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think what's really fun is, I think with TierraCast and with seeing all of our friends and all of our vendors, is that it is how do I want to say it? You come back like, well, exhausted, but
Yeah.
also refreshed, right?
Yes, absolutely. Rejuvenated.
Yeah. And Janice, we have a comment from Donna Harrison. You're going to love this. She
Oh.
said, I love Tracy's hair.
Oh, my hair, Donna. I just don't know what to say. It's
I love it too.
terrible.
I love it.
Thank
So
you, Donna. I don't know what to do with this, and I guess it goes this way.
yeah, you look amazing.
I don't
You
know.
look amazing.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Okay. I'm going to add the box that you sent me. So you sent a box to me and to JP. I'm going to highlight this box if that's okay, Janice, because you have yours there too, right?
Yes.
You guys will just have to try and stay in step with your opening.
Yeah.
With full disclosure, when you told me yesterday, Kate, that TierraCast also has like little treats.
Yeah.
I opened my box to get at the treats.
I love that story. Well,
I haven't opened the box, but I opened the treats.
Yes, our Julie Julie Young, she had texted me and said, it's just going to be like being with us in Tucson. So I expect that those darn treats are going to be amazing. So I'm going to just go ahead and open mine, right? I've got a box cutter here. So Janice, you go ahead and start getting, because I think they're the same, or should be the same here.
They should be the same. Yeah.
So I've got, I'm going to file this away. We've got a product catalog here, 2021, beautifully done.
Hey, Kate, I'm seeing a still. It's like you're frozen. I'm not seeing your box open.
No, are you? It might just be
on my end.
I think it's on your, because I have everything, the settings on my end looking okay. So maybe up to, and I can hear you okay.
All right.
So,
I'm going to reload my page. So if I disappear, I'll come right back.
Sure. No worries. I'm going to go ahead and open this up then. And look.
Yeah.
Here is
beautiful.
Their new line. It's called Renewal. Isn't that nice? I'll take that. I'll put that there. Oh, good. We've got a line sheet, which I like, which I'm going to put over here. And then look at this. We've got a bag. Oh, let me add Tracy back in.
Oh,
Tracy, there we go. We're good. I'll highlight that again. We've got some giveaways here. We'll look at these. And then, oh my goodness, Janice, you were right with the treats. Let's take a look.
Popcorn is good.
Look at this. So this is something that you guys are super famous for.
Are we? For the treats, you mean?
Well, no, the lip balm, the TierraCast lip balm.
Yes. Your screen's frozen again, so I'm guessing what you're holding up. Yes, the lip balm. I'm not sure whose brilliant idea that was, but in Tucson, if you're not used to the climate, it's extremely drying.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the lip balm.
Yes. Well, it's so funny because for the lip balm, Janice and I, the last time we were in Tucson together was hilarious. And we made a list of everything that was the most important thing to have. One of them is lip balm. The other one, flip-flops. And the third one, nose spray.
Saline nose spray.
Those are our three. So look, there's all these treats. And if I know Julie, of course, there's some mimosas in here, which maybe I will keep for the weekend. Or maybe I'll just open one right now. You never know.
There you go.
Thank you so much. Look at this. There's coffee. There's all kinds of treats. So thank you so much. So I don't know, Tracy, can you see my my screen? Has it become
No, I did just realize that my Ethernet wasn't connected, so I connected that, but I'm still just seeing a still shot, which is a bummer.
Why don't we take you out one more time? I'll remove you, and why don't you add yourself in one more time, and I'll open up the giveaways. Okay?
Cool.
I'm going to remove you here.
I love this box, the graphics and
Right? Isn't it just, it's beautiful. It's a
really
nice little wooden, and so Renewal is the name of their latest collection. And it looks like what Julie sent us for the giveaways, and I'll talk about how you can get your own giveaway. But it looks like it has some of the Renewal components in it, along with that famous TierraCast lip balm. So that's really awesome. So I'll put this to the side here so we can, I'll talk about those at the end of the broadcast. And so we've got a lot of people watching. I see Tracy's back. So Tracy, you're here and good?
I think so. Hold on just a sec.
All right. No problem. I
Yes,
have.
your hands are moving. Yay.
Perfect. Yes, I love that. So Renewal is the name of this new collection, correct?
Yes. And the theme, COVID disrupted everything. Many of these parts were intended to come out last summer. They were planned to be a summer release, and then everything got, derailed. So Kirsten, our product development manager, she tightened everything up. We dropped many of the components and kind of tightened it down to just a few. And it felt like Renewal was really appropriate. There's a lot of symbology, the Luna Moth rebirth and renewal, the bees for just connectivity and unity. And
Great.
it was just so timely. So
is this a mood board that Kristen put together beforehand?
Yes. When we first start the marketing kind of process of any launch, for the last few years, we've come up with a mood board to kind of pull together a palette and a theme. And usually by that time, we've come up with a name for the group. And so that was the mood board for this one.
Oh, it's really gorgeous. And one of our customers, Lynn, is saying, how can we get a beautiful box like that? Well, we were super lucky that these go out to your wholesale accounts, of which we were one. And it's just a great way, I think, to bring Tucson from TierraCast right here. And it's really fun for us to bring our TierraCast Tucson experience right out to you. So, sorry, Lynn, we get to keep these, but you will hopefully be able to get some of these new components very soon for us. I'm just going to cut this open here.
I think that's easiest.
Yeah.
Very
and let's
nice, Katie. Wait.
Look at that. Look. Oh,
Yeah.
Holy cannoli. Look at it.
Yeah.
It's real. I'm going to turn it around this way because I like the findings on the top. Look at the color palette. So how did you pull this color palette? I mean, it looks just like it was right from the mood board, really.
Well, they kind of came together. No, the palette came first. I think the palette came first, and then the mood board came together from that.
Oh, it's just great. And someone's saying that it really has like the beauty of nature with this, and it's really true. I'm going to get a little closer so you guys can see this. And let me I didn't turn on my big light, so let me see if that actually helps. That helps actually a little bit. So do you want to talk a little bit about the collection while I pull some of this stuff out?
I can tell you about the different parts. So I think I'm going to go from right to left, which might seem weird. That's what I'm going to do. The succulent components, there's a charm and there's an earring post. And succulents have been just very popular the last few years. I mean, they're always popular. And we've wanted to do them for a long time. And with many of our like nature themed parts, like some of our seashells and some of our other items, they're cast from actual little organic, like our for example, our sea star charm was cast from an actual tiny little sea star. Same with these succulents. Kirsten used actual little succulents in the casting process, which is amazing. Those tiny ones, it's amazing.
And this ear wire it's really gorgeous. It has the it's not an ear wire, but it's an earring post. You can see, you guys, it has the loop right here on the bottom. And then, now are the ear wires, what are the actual post portions of these made of, Tracy? Do you,
They are
uh,
they're titanium, so they are also a
titanium?
hypoallergenic material.
Hey, okay, that's great to know.
So that's the little succulents. The variety of succulent is, for these people who would be interested in this, it's the Echeveria elegans. It's also known as, I think, the Mexican snowball. I, for some reason, can't keep that in my head, but I think that's right. So, yeah, we're excited about those.
Yeah,
and then
gorgeous.
I'm going to move on to the honeycombs. So we've had some bee charms, a couple of honey bee charms, a couple different ones, and you'll see them in the little boxes as you start working through the other stuff, Kate. We have had some little bee charms in our line for a long time. They're wonderfully popular, and we've wanted to do a honeycomb for a long time to give them something to play with. So that's where the honeycomb came from.
And you can see how I was using it kind of as a drop, but you can also see that honeycomb is symmetrical. So we can use it this way. You could also use it, I'm seeing this already, as kind of an earring top. Wouldn't that make a great earring topper? And
you could wire them together. You could.
Yeah. No, exactly. So, and you can also, right, like they would fit in, right, like that as well. So really, the honeycomb shape, I think, is a really popular kind of motif that people love. So it's great. All right, and then, oh my gosh, these are
the Luna moth. Well, wait. Put the moth down, Kate. We're still in bee mode. So go to
I'm sorry. Yes,
yeah, that's okay.
We
can go however you want. How can you resist picking up that moth?
Right.
But to stick with the bee theme for just another minute, a little honeybee button, which just Kirsten was in love with this, and we love the way the detailing come out. It's just sweet. So
yeah,
the honeybee button.
It is. I think this might be my. I also love bees. I'm going to measure this one. I've got my caliper out so people can actually see what I'm going to re-zero this so people get an idea, even though I'm holding it in my hand. The button isn't giant, but it's not teeny either. It's a really great size, especially for wrap bracelets and stuff. And so it's just under 15 millimeters. And you can see, of course, the TierraCast bail that's on the back of that button, or shank that's on the back of that button.
And we very intentionally, it took some actually remaking of some of our buttons because we wanted the shanks to be big enough to fit like a 2 millimeter cord in it, because so many people use them for wrap bracelets and stuff. So all of our buttons have a nice roomy shank.
Yeah.
You know, Tracy, I wanted to ask a question. We've noticed in the last few shipments of newer products that the TierraCast components seem heavier or more detailed. They're just more luscious. It's not so much like a surface. Like this bee is very detailed. Is there something new that you're doing at TierraCast that you weren't doing before?
Well, we've always been known for a lot of detail in our parts and for them being quite substantial. Now, we had another product development kind of. She wasn't a manager, but she was a product development. We had Katie for a while, and so she had a different approach to manufacturing. So there was some stuff that was very different from what we're more known for. And now Kirsten, who's been working on our product development for about 5 years now, she's our product development manager, and I think she really has a wonderful respect for what our parts have been traditionally, and kind of works in that same vein, but then she has certainly has her own design touch. So I'm not sure that answers the question.
Kirsten's also trained as a bench jeweler.
She's a
right?
bench jeweler, so
She is
she's
a bench jeweler. So she, I think, really understands intrinsically. And I see her work and follow her on social media and stuff. And her work is also very detailed and very, so I think it's maybe having that, that jeweler's eye, not that you didn't have before, but I love her aesthetic. I think she's
Yeah.
brought great design.
I'm right with you on that. I agree. She's just brought a really wonderful quality. The parts she puts out are just it. Oh, you might want to move right to the Luna moth now.
Okay, let's do it.
That was that Luna moth she's been working on for a long time, couple of years. She's been interested in producing one for a couple of years, and so just came up with a gorgeous piece. And what we decided at some point in the production was that we wanted it to be versatile. So we added little holes on the outside of the
I just noticed, look, there's a hole there, and these are also two-sided.
Yes.
So you don't have a back or a front.
And there's a hole at the bottom and also the loop at the top.
So it's a pendant, it's a link, it's something that you can really embellish. And I also recently tried bending it with some bracelet bending pliers. You know what you can do with the pewter components, because it's a relatively soft metal. So I kind of carefully worked it along with a bracelet bending plier, and it came out beautiful. Just gave it a nice little curve.
Oh, great. A nice little dimension to it.
Just a wonderful piece.
Look at the little antenna on these. It's beautiful. Now, these were, I assume she carves in wax maybe beforehand?
We have a couple different ways we do it. She uses AutoCAD technology, and there's wax carvings, and we have a couple of people that we use for kind of subcontractors that we use for that kind of work.
It's really beautifully done.
Assume this one was a wax carved piece, but I am not actually sure about that.
Yeah. Well, it's gorgeous, and it comes in all three flavors. Janice and I really also want to shout out and say that we're so pleased about the copper finish.
Yes.
On all of these.
You know, and it's funny because Julie will say to you, or I know she goes by Julia, but I always call her Julie.
No, it's just Julie.
Julie will say, "Oh, that Janice. She won't stop with me about adding copper back in the line." And then you guys, because I know for a while you stopped it, and then I got an email. Kate and I got an email, and Julie said, "You'll be so happy to hear, Janice. We have copper again."
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, we love copper.
We love these.
Yeah.
And then we've got this beautiful leaf.
It's a monstera leaf.
Yes.
And I don't know if you're familiar with that plant. It gets kind of immense. Actually, the word monstera, it looks like a split leaf philodendron. Perhaps they're related. It's not poisonous. And actually, the plant produces a fruit, an edible fruit. So they're well known for being very hardy, very fast growing, drought tolerant. So they're just extremely resilient plants. So and they're also the monstera leaf is just as a theme is just very popular right now.
Yeah.
So Kirsten felt strongly about keeping this one with the group, and it fits the renewal theme just perfectly.
It's really great. You know, this monstera leaf, also the motif was, I see these, I picture some bark cloth curtains we had growing up that my grand probably made out of fabric back in 1940 and had to move from house to house. So I think that this leaf also has kind of a vintage vibe to it, or a mid-century modern vibe to it too. Yeah, I really like it. All right. Well, these are, all right. I don't even know what to do. I love them all so much.
There's some other papers that came in the box, right? And a couple of those pages are the design inspirations. Now, when we go to Tucson, we create some design ideas, and we'll make a document that's got some images and the part list, right? And so that's available for our customers so that they can either follow along with that or most often our customers just
Right.
go with their own inspiration and make whatever they want. But
Right.
in the box, we included some inspiration ideas and all of those that row of cords and parts is all the supporting parts. So you can make whatever you want.
Look at this idea for this button as an earring. Do you see that, JP?
Very
That
clever.
is such a great idea. And I really like these ideas. Look at this with the bee, and look at this with the tassel. We love these Jardin crimps. We use these all the time. We love them. And connecting these two with some wire loops, it's great. So what I'm going to do is, I guess, is take out some of this. Looks like there's some leather cord and some cotton cord and just a little variety of crystals and check glass beads. Yes, Linda is so excited with her signature comment. I love it. I'm going to get some of the rest of these out. So JP, you have the box in front of you too, right?
I do, and I have the instructions and.
Yeah.
So I think. Did you see the little head pins tucked away in behind those little tubes? There's pins.
All of this. These are look at this. Look at how it's just wrapped in this little precious. Oh, and a nice piece from Dakota Stone, some purple crazy lace. Thank you to that. And then are the ideas already on the inspiration page on TierraCast yet, Tracy?
Not yet. And that is something we could point out is this launch is not actually available yet. It's launching for us. We're launching it next week.
Okay.
And then our customers then are able to launch it the following day. So that's when, in theory, you'll be able to purchase the parts. And so all of the design ideas are intended to be available on the website by launch date. I'll do my best.
And they will be eventually great. And so, all of these, and we have our appointment with Julie a little bit later today. We're going to Zoom with her. So it looks like by the reaction of everybody here, everybody is pretty excited about these. So we're going to take your votes into consideration. So,
Kate, something else I want to point out is if you have the flyer handy, some of these designs are going to be available as kits.
Oh, great.
So we have not done kits for a while, but COVID has just created this resurgence of kit popularity. So we're including 3 kits with this launch.
Oh, that's great. You know, we carried your kits over the holidays, and they did very well for us. We still have a few online. I think we're going to replenish those as well.
Have you found that to be the case? People are buying many more kits these days?
Yeah, I think they did very well over the holidays. Notice how I just dump my things out in a pile.
I'm impressed.
I am a piler, and it's really true. And I know that some of you guys are out there going, "Oh my God, what did she just do?"
I just want to get in there with my little bead scoop and help you, Kate.
Right. And so this is the thread that you sent us. This is like our Ceylon, right? Just in a smaller.
That is actually Beadalon's version of a nylon cord. They call it Beelon.
Oh my goodness. And I love, Janice, do you see that brown, the mottled brown?
Yeah.
Aren't these nice?
They are. I think they're slightly heavier than regular Ceylon. I think, but they're really cool. I have a lighter color. Maybe I don't. Maybe I have the exact. Okay, I don't have black. Is that black or brown?
It's a dark brown.
I've got a dark brown. I've got kind of this weathered ivory and kind of a darker weathered color. I like these. We'll have to have a conversation about these too because.
And I like that they're small. That it's a small amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like them.
They sell it. Beadalon sells that in a 3-pack, so you get all 3 colors in a single pack.
Oh, that's great. Well, we love our friends at Beadalon, that's for sure. So let's take a look. So we carry some of these things. Well, we carry, I think, all of these things almost already. These, what we call Evolve, this crimpable bead, which we love so much. These ends, we love these, that they match these guys. They're just great. We carry maybe a little bit of a smaller version of this one. We call it plain and simple, but I sure like
the size. Yeah, it's nice and
yeah, I do too. We might need to, it's really I love a toggle. I think a toggle is really super serviceable. Oh, look, there's a little, do you see, Janice, do you have your little,
I do. The
little
citrine drops. Yeah.
Oh, hello.
I do.
Hello, citrine drops. Now, Tracy, what are these little copper?
Those are our disc spacers, and we have those in several sizes from 3 millimeters up to, I want to say 8 millimeter. And they're just on our website as disc spacers, DISK.
They're kind of hard to see, but
that's the smallest one.
They're really cool.
So versatile. I mean, they're just really useful. Not versatile. They're a one-trick pony, but they're very useful.
Well, they're versatile in a lot of different projects. I mean, they're great. So it's about the size, you guys, just so you know for reference, about the size of a size 8 seed bead is what these are, really.
A little narrower. The original design for that project, I did use size 8 seed beads, but when we put together the products to send in these boxes, we replaced them with the little disc beads.
Look at this. Now, we carry this. We call it the Sixth Sense bead. Do you see, JP?
Yeah.
It's a tiny one.
Oh.
We just call that the 3 millimeter faceted.
Well, I love it. I don't know. I always say, I was talking about this with a friend yesterday, actually with our friend Jamie from the Bead Gallery in Hawaii. And we were chatting a little bit about color and ideas and stuff like that. And we were talking about designing. And I said, a necklace, when you design a necklace, the necklace is at least 50% filler, right? So you need to think about when you're creating your color palettes, what the filler portion of that is. And these are just great little, the 3 and 4 millimeter beads are just perfect as your filler, as your background singers, I was calling them that.
I like that, background singers.
Yeah, right. They have to let the star shine. So let's see.
I also liked earlier you used the phrase a creative explosion.
Yes. That creative explosion, that term came from the Thorntons, sister and brother. When Cynthia comes pre-COVID, now that we don't see them at all anymore, but we will again. They would come and stay, and they would do a bead show or something around the things. And we would spend a few days out by the beach, out by the Pacific Ocean, and we would call it a creative explosion because we'd have no agenda and no plan, and we would just create. And you know that both Cynthia and Andrew Thornton are
incredibly talented,
incredibly creative. Yeah.
They're both little creative explosions, both of them.
Yeah, I was just lucky to be in the same room. So
really,
it was, yes.
You might have felt the same way, Kate.
Well, thank you.
Really,
but we would have some fun. So when Cynthia came, the last time she was out, we were lucky enough to wrangle her on a broadcast. And so we had a creative explosion of our own with Cynthia. And we talked about color, and it's a great lesson in color and what do I want to say? Color and design. And so you'll find it in our archive on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's really
It was great. She drew a little color wheel for us. It was really fun. So Janice, I don't know how you're tackling all of these little parts.
Oh, I've just started taking them out and stringing.
Oh, good. Janice is already making something.
Yeah, I don't have to do the show. I just have to like tag
Right.
along and I can start working. So
You can make something. When I'm faced with, and I don't know, Tracy, you probably see everybody, when everybody's in the big TierraCast room having that mimosa and creating, it's kind of a fun free-for-all. So I think you see a lot of people the way that they design. This is kind of my gig. I like to make pie. I'm a piler. I just am. I don't know. And then I like to go from that palette. These are not, what are these little?
There's some little, oh wait, what do you got? You have,
they're like a little, like light Colorado crystal.
It's a Swarovski parted, and it's a Swarovski part, and I forget what they call that. Discontinued, I believe, at this point.
Yeah, gorgeous though.
But I happen to have a stash here, and they fit really well with that.
They're great.
Idea.
Yeah, no, they're great. They're really good. And people are asking about these. I think these are aventurine, maybe.
Yep,
aventurine. Some aventurine there. We've got some nice sort of colors of amethyst colors in here. So I guess I can stop kind of tossing things around. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pair of earrings with these Luna moths.
Hey, Kate.
Yep.
Kimberly Carey Crawford is asking if the kits are going to be available to retail customers or just for vendors and demos. And so I just wanted to answer that if I may.
Of course.
The individual jewelry kits that you saw on the flyer, yes, available to the retail customers as soon as our customers launch them. There, yes. But if you mean kit by the box that Kate got, then no.
we were just the lucky recipients.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm going to grab a couple of head pins here, and I'm not going to even look at I should follow one of your designs, but I'm just going to jump in.
You do not have to.
I love the holes that are in, so I'm going to grab something else. I'm going to grab some chain. Now, I
wanted to put some chain too with the
yes, right,
yeah,
right from that moth.
Yep.
This whole collection to me feels has kind of a vintage, even though it's it's called renewal. It has kind of a vintage kind of a vibe to it, and so for me, kind of a chandelier type earring, I think would be a lot of fun to use that as a component. So I've grabbed some of our chain that we call Simplicity. It's just a simple chain, and I've grabbed it in a antique silver here. I'm gonna kind of push my piece up so you guys can see. And Janice, anytime you want to jump in with what you've got going on, let me know and I'll put you on the screen.
Okay, I'm just going to finish up this one little dangle first and then I can show you, okay?
I think I'm also going to grab those briolets, which I love. We carry some of my precious briolets, and you guys know how I feel about those. I'm going to wire wrap it.
Oh.
So let me get some, I think, appropriately sized wire. I think would be 26 gauge. So I'm going to grab that. And you guys, I really am flying off the seat of my pants. You can tell because I have nothing out. I put nothing out.
You didn't plan in advance.
That's good. I did not. So I'm going to grab, this is, I don't know, this is probably close enough. 26 gauge, perfect. That's what I wanted. So now I need to untangle it from this wire box, and bring it out. So here it is. There we go. I've untangled it. It's like watching paint dry. There we go. I'm back. Okay. Yeah. So we will have some of these. Again, we're chatting with Julie a little bit later today. So if you guys are into the kits and stuff, let us know. Put it in the comments and stuff, and let us know. We'll be making some decisions. So I'm going to cut some wire. I'm going to get a little closer here so you guys can see what I've got going on here. This Luna moth, just so you can see measurement wise from door to door, like we like to say, is about 25 millimeters, maybe a little bit longer. So I'm going to face it this way. Okay, so I'm going to first, let me get a little space here. I'm going to use this delicious citrine briolette, and I'll just come in, and you can see it fits perfectly on that 26 gauge wire. I'll come in and I'll get my chain nose plier, which is sitting right here, and we'll just do a quick briolette wrap. Now, the briolette wrap we have on our website as well in our skill builders. So if you are new to jewelry making, or even if you're a seasoned jewelry maker that needs a little bit of a brush up, you can go to our skill builders right on beadshop.com. So you can see I brought both sides of the wire in, and I'm going to come in. I'm going to bring one wire down at a right angle. I'm going to get my round nose plier, and I'm just going to connect it. You could connect it with a jump ring, but I like my wraps to kind of be all inclusive so that there's no open loop to come apart. Though the TierraCast jump rings are excellent and they're nice and heavy, so you don't have to worry about that usually. But if I can.
Did you see the oval ones that were included in the box?
Yeah, I do. I have some here.
I mean, we carry the small ones, but I really like these.
Yeah, I do too.
Sized ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Those ones, Janice, those ones and those, I don't see any of the 0020 rounds, which is our part number for one of our rounds. That's a different one. It's a slightly lighter gauge, I think. But those oval ones right there are probably our best sellers next to the round ones I mentioned. Yeah.
So Kate, do you want to pop on to me for a second?
Sure.
I don't know if we're doing the same thing.
Yeah. Let me get you. I'm highlighting you. There you are.
So I just started.
Sweet. Oh, look at how pretty that is.
And it's the two 8mm fire polish, and then that really nice petal. And then above it is the small 6 cents, the smaller 6 cents. And then I just wire wrapped it onto, I want to say the dragonfly. What is it called? It's
Luna moth. Luna moth.
Yeah. And then were you going to do like chain from here to here?
I'm thinking of it. Yeah. So
okay, well, I'll do something else then with it. Okay.
Okay. Unless you have chain there, I can also move on to something since you're working on those. I'll keep this like this, and maybe I'll do a little bit of wire wrapping with the.
No, you keep going. I'm going to put these down now, and I'll do something else. Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll come back to this then, and I'll show you guys how. And we have a little bit more time. So Tracy, you're all right? You're doing okay?
I'm doing just fine. I was enjoying wire wrap bales for me. I swear it's like I make them up every time because I just don't. I mean, I've done a million of them, but they always just feel like, how do I do this? So I was very interested in your demo there.
Oh, thank you. Well, those wire wrapped briolette, I just love briolettes. I just do. I think I might use these to, maybe I'll connect it there. Let me see. Let me get myself into the camera here. There we go. I'm going to add, you have these little charmers, these little tiny 3 mils, which I like a lot. And that just makes, see how you can see just using a tiny little spacer like that, I think really does a lot for it. Janice used the cap, so I want to show you how it fits. This I think is an 8mm bead.
It
So
is,
you
yep.
can see how pretty that looks with that. So I'm going to leave it here. This might be a bit too opulent for what I'm looking at, and so maybe I want something that maybe showcases or that the chain, doesn't compete with this drop here. So I'm gonna pick maybe just a or we carry your small jump rings, so that's what I'm gonna use. I think that's what I'm gonna use to attach.
Those seem appropriate for that. That chain is very fine, so it seems like those small jump rings would be good.
Would be appropriate. So let me try that. And sometimes you don't want to gild the lily. You just want to let the lily kind of do its thing. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to add some jump rings here to this. And I'm not even taking the chain off the bolt yet. And I'm going to attach it there. And I'm just going to check and see if it's right. And it looks correct. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close it. When I make a pair of earrings, the first one always takes forever, right? Because you're trying to decide how it's going to look or what's going to happen. And then the second one just follows along. So can you see how just even draping that simple piece of chain below it? So I'm going to look and
looking fabulous. It frames that little citrine drop really nicely.
That little drop, yeah. And it looks like this is about 2.5 inches of chain. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it.
Kate, you're right about, the first earring takes so much work. I do know of a person in particular here at the shop. She'll do one. I won't say her name. It's not Julie though. She will do an earring, and then that's it. She's exhausted. She never makes a second earring.
Right. Well, I'll have to confess, sometimes when I make earrings and stuff on air, and I just made the one, and I'll say, oh, and the second one, I'll complete the second one, and Karen will put it on the website. She actually just doubles the one earring that I've made. So
because you don't make the second.
I honestly, so sometimes it's sitting on the wall. Sometimes all of these singles, and if someone visits or whatever, and they say, "Okay, I want to see that earring," that pair of earrings you did, and I'm like, "Okay, yeah."
Michelle Summary Owens with Leathercord USA. I see your comment. Are you one of those people too?
Yes, I see Michelle on there. That's great. That's great. Well, I also want, what I feel like this needs is, I feel like it needs some movement on the bottom, right? And so I'm going to use, this is kind of a classic Kate chandelier kind of idea. So I'm going to use some of these colors. Let's utilize these colors and just
yummy.
Lay these out. Maybe this wants to be there. Maybe that wants to be there. What other? I love that you sent like just a bunch of tiny beads. I'm going to zoom in on this so you guys can see this a little bit. So if we kind of pattern it or ombre it, and this is a design tip that I learned from Janice, right? And when you're like trying to figure out what the heck it is you're going to make, right? Starting maybe with something in the center, like I did this focal of this this Swarovski crystal right in the center, right there. And then I worked my way out doing some of those purples, and then worked my way out here and just mirrored it. So if you find one side, if you get one side how you like it, then you just mirror the second side and you're good to go. So that kind of speeds up your tempo, the tempo. this one, so since it's in the middle, maybe I'll use that smaller donut there. And maybe these are very small, maybe 3 millimeter, maybe little faceted. It's hard to see, faceted tiger's eye. So if I want to pull that brown and kind of ground it in, I'll pull
like
brown to the center and then to the sides. And to me, this, I'm trying to evoke, and I'll pull this up, your mood board, kind of trying to put all of the colors of this mood board into this kind of array that I've got here. So let's see if, so the pins that I've chosen to do this with, I have some 24 gauge head pins here. And you can also embellish with some smaller little beads and stuff like that. But I'm just going to grab these guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to wire wrap. I'm going to make just rosary loops with this. So I'm going to start with this 3 mil. Gosh, this is a small bead. And I want to make sure I'm not using the beads that I need for the other earring. I also want to look and see if I want to mix my metal. This one I don't think I do. And it's rare for me not to mix the metal, but I don't think I will. So I'm just going to very simply, with this tiny little 3 mil like that, I'm just going to bend it right there with the courage of my convictions, right over the top of the bead hole. And you can see how I put my thumb right there. So my nail, so when I bent it, it's a nice sharp bend. Then what I do, and you guys have seen me do this before, but I wanted to break it down. We also have this in our basics, all right there on our skill builders on our website. So I'll come in with my rosary plier and I'm going to clip, and then I'm going to point that wire right at me, go a little ways up on the nose of my round nose plier, and flip those guys over. So if you watched at the beginning of COVID when I was doing the Kate's Creative Connections broadcasts every day, we did one that was called the Bead Olympics. We did it that week. And I pearl knotted and I wire wrapped and I think I rosary looped, and I saw like how long I could do it for 5 minutes. It was kind of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, to get us to get our minds off of the beginning of COVID. Yeah. There's the hole. I can see it. So you can see, if you put like a little tiny, again, I don't think that little tiny, I love that spacer, but I'm going to keep it for something else. But I like the way that this, for the center, gives a little bit of a focal.
Nice.
So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. So so if I were doing this at home or for a project 2 minutes before I went on, this is how I would do it, right? I would line everything up. These little semi-precious, sometimes the holes on these could be a little small.
Yeah. Assembly line style. Get them all ready to go.
Right. Get them all ready. Yeah, unfortunately, those little green guys are a little, but that's okay. I'm going to just pivot.
Your head pins are 21 gauge or 24 gauge?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so frustrating when you get those little tiny gemstone holes.
Yeah, the little tiny ones. Let me see. That one works. And I can probably ream them out too. Let me see if these both.
The pale yellow ones, the yellow quartz ones work.
Yeah. Okay, great. Or also, I have these guys too. I'll just use these aventurine guys. I'll bend that.
Oh, and that looks nice. That color green looks sweet in there too.
It does. And I'll assembly line this like there's no tomorrow. So those guys are going there, and then I'll do that other side. So you go over there. Let me get my pin. Bend at an angle. Of course, I'm working with tiny little beads, but bear with me here. But see how I grab it and I bend it right over. We call that the sacred bend or the sacred right angle, because if you keep that right angle in your wire, then your loop is always going to be nice and round as you make it. And let me see if I can see that hole. These little facets, sorry, I need to get a little more in my line of vision, so I'm going to pull it out of the, there it is.
How do you do, Hickster?
Out of the shot, there we go. Okay, so here's my lineup. So now, at Kate speed, I'm going to come in and I'm going to cut, and being very mindful, you guys, when you're cutting your wire, that it's pointing down or away, that it's not pointing at your neighbor. If we were in Tucson doing this in the TierraCast suite, I'd be on my second mimosa by now. But thankfully, I still have all of my faculties about me, so I can still make loops. Though you can see, I don't know, it might have been at Bead and Button, and I think it's in the TierraCast archive somewhere. I did an impromptu broadcast with my friend Mary.
And we did. It was delightful.
It was fun.
I was thinking of that earlier today, wondering how I could. It is on our Facebook page, way back archives.
Yeah.
I was thinking of pulling that up. I probably could share that again. It's so fun.
Yeah, it was funny. We did a whole ribbon. I still have the jewelry I made, and I know Mary, she made some bracelets and stuff, and we still have those. Those were fun times. We will definitely miss Bead and Button. But you know, I love how TierraCast and some of the other companies as well have really pivoted, and we've tried to do so as well during these times of COVID, where we just can't be together, you know, and so we find these virtual ways of connecting over the miles, which I think is great. I need another aventurine. Thank you to whoever told me that. Donna, thank you for that. Let me get that other aventurine in there.
That has been really wonderful to watch over the last, almost year, is people rising to that challenge. Okay, how am I going to reach my customers? You know, I'm a yoga fan, and I have a couple of teachers. You know, I was going to a studio, and then of course no more studio, and a couple of the teachers really rose to the channel and started streaming and working, and it was clunky and difficult at first, and there was always technology challenges, but people have just risen to that challenge, and it's been amazing.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt, you know, when we did the Great Bead Extravaganza back in November, you know, when Andrew Thornton and Sarah Ayler from Softlex, when they came together and said, okay, this is what we want to do. We want to try and reach out and create a virtual experience. Again, our technology, everything was a little clunky, right? We didn't know quite what we were doing and stuff. So it's really exciting to kind of, you know, continue with this tradition and kind of, you know, continue on. So you can see here what I've done is I've tried to, I'm not really sure, counting all of these little links, right, would make me just want to lie down, right? I wouldn't be able to see them anyway. So I've taken one of my cutaway head pins and I've put it in the loop and I've kind of pulled it down there. So I've isolated what I know to be that center loop. Okay, so I'm going to start in the center. I'm going to kind of leave it there. I'm going to start in the center and open this loop, and I'm going to try and grab that loop with my chain nose and put it right on. So I start in the center here, and we're going to work our way out from there. So here's this guy. So next, I think I'm going to put on this purple one. Now this chain is directional, okay, but it's also pretty thin. So it's not going to really matter that much which side you put the drop on the link, but I like to try and make sure that the drops always go on the same side. So can you see here how I'm counting with my little head pin? My drop is in this one. So I think I'm going to skip that one and I'm going to go into that one there. Okay. And then I'll put my little pin there so I know where it is.
Kate, I have to go back to the Great Bead Extravaganza experience that we're both so fortunate to be a part of. And thank goodness for you. You being the one with so much techie experience, I think you pretty much saved us.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. It was, I always joke about how I'm like Beadshop's IT department, but along with our web designer Karen. But now that COVID, we don't have many of us here in the office, so I've had to kind of make things up as I go along. But I was an early adopter, I guess, back in the late 80s. My college roommate had an Apple, what was it then? An Apple II or something. I don't know what she
LC2 or LC. Oh, I remember those.
Right. And even back before that, and if any of you are computer nerds, you'll remember the K-Pro computer. My friend Susan had one of those. So I wrote like my college essays and stuff on that. So I don't know. I was always kind of comfortable around it. So, but now I think that with COVID, people have embraced like the Zoom and we hold all of our meetings now via Zoom, stuff like that. So,
maybe some people kind of reluctantly, but you're right. We've had to embrace it.
We can adapt and embrace. And, even now when you watch the news or news broadcasts, you see people look, on the Zoom connecting to the broadcast. So we're kind of used to that now to kind of see how, I love it when commentators are on the news from their houses because I like to see what books are and some news. I like to see what books they have on their shelves and how they've staged
everything off their refrigerators. There's no
right.
I don't have a kitchen that clean.
Right? Yeah, we don't have a on top of my fridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that. How are you doing over there, JP?
Well, I'm doing fine. I'm just starting way too many projects. I'm doing a wrap bracelet. I'm doing earrings. I'm doing a pendant. And then I can't find my glue and I can't find my scissors and
right.
So.
And so you can see, awesome. I'm gonna go a little bit closer, and then JP, I'll get you on camera. So you can see. So these are the ones that I've picked out. So at this point, I'll look at it and I'll assess, and I'll say, okay, this one I've got more chain here, and I need to fill that up. So I would probably I'll use these that I've done for the other side. I might repeat that motif, maybe repeat that small one, and maybe repeat that purple up there. So that green will kind of stand out. So that's what I think I'll do. And then here, I'll do that. And then this hole there will, like you mentioned, Tracy, carry your ear wires. We just love them. We'll just go ahead and I will connect this ear wire. And the way that we can do is I'll open this up, and you'll notice that the loop, if I hold it forward, is facing one way, and then this loop is facing the other. So I know that I can simply open like this, lift it very carefully with my chain nose, grab my Luna, and slide her on. And I want to make sure that that opening is large enough so this moves around.
I had moments of concern about that, but it looks like you're okay.
Well, yeah, visually it looked okay to me. And you can see, yep, that movement is perfect. So I don't have a lot of razzmatazz going up on the top here, right? So that all of the color and stuff is kind of focused on the bottom. So that's so when I say, I'm going to finish the other one, so you guys will be able to see it. But Janice, do you want to show some things if I put you up on the screen there?
Sure. I don't have a lot to show.
Okay.
Yet, but I wanted to try that new thread from Beadalon, and it's a little different. It's rougher. It has it doesn't seem to be coated the way Ceylon is. The ends definitely fray more. So when you're cutting, you really do need to glue it. And I'm just not. I don't have glue right now. But look at how nice that butterfly. I mean, bee button looks. Isn't that
Nice.
great?
And I really like the kind of the mottled colors. We do have that weathered leather that we carry
Yeah.
that we really like, and we have the distressed leather from Leather Cord that we also really like. And this, I think visually, it's really kind of an interesting match with that thread. It's nice.
Yeah.
What did you put? So get that a little closer to your camera, JP. Yep, there you go. You used kind of those 8/0s or whatever that were there. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
And those larger beads, you can see that really show the leather there.
Yeah.
Look
And
really
2mm distressed brown. That's or some call it natural, but it's the 2mm. And Tracy's right; it does get through the buttonhole. This is just this little thing is just for working on the board, but it's it's the beginning of a little bracelet.
Nice.
And then I was going to try taking those bees and actually macrameing them into one of the strands and seeing how they look as a drop. And I was going to do that next. The other thing that I started, I'm a starter and a stopper when you give me this many things like to look at at once. I'm like everyone out there. I get overwhelmed. I love these little cactus posts.
Yeah.
I think they're really cute. I have to be careful with little earrings because I have Buddha lobes and I kind of like to cover, but every once in a while I'll wear something small like that. And then the other thing that I have been tempted to buy these beads. Can everyone see those? Tracy, what is this bead? This bead, the copper one, the anti-copper.
Those are 8mm floral rounds. I'm looking behind me because I got to make sure that's what we call them.
Yeah,
I love them.
I'm gonna say, even though they're not new, they're new to us. So we're gonna definitely carry those. They're so beautiful, so beautiful.
Yeah,
and so I was just starting. There's a little kitty here. I was just starting to make this, wire wrapping this, and then adding it to the little post on top. Just a little, maybe some chain in between, but I haven't finished that yet. So I'm in the middle of all of them. I want to do everything.
Yeah, everyone likes that little flower. Well, I'm going to show you real quick how this is kind of coming together here. Let me go here. So I've got my chandelier. So as I was holding it up, I was noticing that it was looking a little sparse, and I'm going to get a little closer so you guys can see it. So what I did was, and I wanted some shine. I used that crystal, so I repeated it up at the top, and I want to show you where I attached it. Sometimes I think when you attach pieces, or if you're doing a chandelier like this, the jump ring can, whoops, sorry, I'm out of focus there. The jump ring can look a little alone, right? Or it's a little too prominent. So what I did was I did a wire wrap or a rosary loop here, and I just attached it to that jump ring. So it masks it just a little, but it also lifts it a little bit there. And you can see I've added those 8mm, those 3mm tiger eye, and you can see there's just one little space there. So I've looped one more, and I'm going to fill in that space. I feel like the tiger eye, the brown and the gold tones in it, kind of ground everything. So I'm just going to let it ground everything and sprinkle it throughout. So let me grab that on and do this. Now, once you have once you have created your side, like this one, the rest of this and the second earring, let me lay this out so it looks nice. The second earring will all come together. This also, I think, would make a really nice pendant too.
Yes.
And I want to make sure, like what Janice says, when you spend your beads, when you spend them on your project, you want to make sure that you have enough left over for the second half of it. But these, and I'll put this on, I'll highlight me so you guys can see how this earring might look. Let me turn to my non microphone side. So you can see it's not a huge ear. It's definitely a say something earring, but it's not really heavy. And I think it's really a pretty thing. Let me put it right here.
That is going to be gorgeous when it's done.
I think it's so interesting, Kate, the way you used it in that direction. I was going to use it in the other direction.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like, I don't know, it gives it a nice diamond shape. It'll be much nicer when all of the beads are on the other side too. But this is kind of a classic Kate kind of chandelier design, right? Embellish that small chain with the little beads. But I think it's good. That moth is just gorgeous. So we have a quick question from Donna, and I'll ask you that one, Tracy. Does TierraCast carry non-pierced earrings? I think they do.
We do. We have a selection of posts. I think there's. I'm turning around again to look at my.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6.
I think 6. We used to carry them.
Yeah. Did I say posts? I meant clip-ons. There's 6. We have 6 different styles.
Oh, great. Well, we'll have to take a look into those because it's always nice to even just carry a couple for people who have a non-pierced earring needs. So I'm going to zoom up on my messy desk here, but you can see, I think that these are all so great. I'll give everybody another flash of the little box that we've got here. And so stay tuned, you guys. We're going to be adding some of these really great things. So you'll want to check out and stay with our newsletter and stuff like that.
Well,
so,
Kate, what are we not going to add?
Right? I don't know. I think they're all winners, right?
I mean, I don't think that there's a choice. I think we're going to be adding all of them, aren't we?
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
And let's look at, before I want to flash these projects on here because we didn't really have a lot of time to do that. And I want to show you how really nicely this comes together, this piece here. This is, I think, probably with 1.5 millimeter cord, I think, that has just been tied onto this center piece. And then you get your little bee that's right here. And that cute little, we carry some of these, we don't carry them quite this small, but this little flower is just really curling there. And then you just tie a loop, and then tie it right onto that B button, which is great. And they also make a really nice pair of earrings, as we show there. And then what I really like, and I didn't show these, and Janice, I don't know if you saw these as well.
I know. It's like Tahoe. It's great.
This is our Tahoe bracelet that we do, and with the leaves. I could not love this more.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think it's the fave of designs. Yeah. It's
really great. It has mixed metals, which is great. The 1.5 millimeter leather. I really like, and we don't carry these, Janice, but I do like them. This 3-hold component, which was really pretty. And you can see, you guys, on the back how that 3-hold spacer holds that leather apart so that the leaves kind of splay out a little bit, and then that large crimp is crimped down. So it's really nice.
And you can so easy, Kate. It's such an easy
really easy. And you can see here's the button, using it as a button and loop, which is also very nice. And then I'll turn this around. You guys can see how these earrings were made going in the opposite direction. Instead of down, they're up. And again, it creates that very kind of Art Nouveau palette, which is nice. And this is with the nylon coated wire stringing material, beadle on, or you could use soft flex with that
Yes.
too.
I also did a version of those with craft wire, 26.
Oh,
I want to say.
very.
And so they were fun, and it's a slightly different little look because, you know, the craft wire holds its shape a little more, but it was also a much fussier design. So this one was the simplified, but the soft flex wire worked really nicely for it.
Yeah, really nice. And then someone had a question about that flower bead, Janice, that you held up. This is that 8mm flower. I think we'll definitely add it. I think it's beautiful.
I have wanted to, and then I forget.
Yeah, it's really great. So it is an 8mm, and you can see they're just little, kind of hard to see, but they're little posters scattered all over them. And I'm sure it comes in all three of the finishes.
It does. It does.
Yeah,
it's a lovely bead. It's a lovely bead.
And so these patterns will be on the TierraCast. Anyone can visit the website under inspiration. I think that they'll be there.
That's right. The inspiration tab. They'll be all up there individually. Hey, Kate, something came up when you were attaching your ear wire to the Luna moth. Did you know that we have ear wires that have extra large loops at the bottom?
I do. You know, when I had my store in San Francisco, we carried a couple of I carried the big one with the extra large loop, and we also carried the one that was just the straight pin that you could add your own beads to.
Right.
I loved both of those very much.
Have just been really popular lately because people are stacking pieces of leather together. So those have had a little bit of a resurgence in popularity lately.
Yeah, I really like them. And
oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, JP.
Tracy, we have been waiting and waiting for the ear wires to come back in. Do you have any information about when you're going to get the 3mm bead and the niobium? And is there a problem with importing the metals or something?
I am not sure. We have had, COVID has caused supply chain interruptions
And boy, do we know about that.
Across the board for us. So I'm not sure who you guys talk with back in customer service, but they will be able to answer those questions for you. They'll have the details I don't have. But yeah, we've been back ordered on quite a few things like that.
Yeah, the ear wires. We love your ear wires.
Yeah, we really do. They're just so good.
There are some shortages, but we're working on it.
Yeah. We understand that. We understand that for sure. Well, these are just gorgeous. Janice, do you want to show any last looks, or I'm going to start showing what we're
show you just when I started.
So you're on.
Okay, so what I thought would be fun to do, which I haven't done yet, I was just reaching for the wire, is I took the beehive and I just literally tied it on.
Laddered it in,
Laddered it in, and then I thought I would do like a Kate Ferrant Richburg encrusted, with 26 gauge and some of those little tiny beads. So I thought that would be really, pretty on it. Can you all see?
Yeah. That's beautifully to your stack.
Yeah. And it's not too big, and it would be possible to hang like one of those little yellow citrine drops, faceted drops from this.
Very pretty.
Yeah. It'd be fun. So I'll keep you posted.
It looks great. Wonderful. Well, you guys were very generous. I'm gonna move this aside, and I want to talk about the giveaways. We're coming up on the end of our broadcast here, so Julie was very. I'm gonna put it here, right here. Julie was very nice to get. I'm just gonna don't watch what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna slide this over. There we go. You guys do that, right? I'm not alone, right? We've got 3 little giveaways here. And if you saw our newsletter this morning, let me go over here and click this on. If you saw our newsletter this morning, we were really missing Tucson. And so we're doing a Tucson giveaway with purchase today only. And so the rules, so I ran into the office last night and I whipped up this little mix and I call it Saguaro. It's the cactus and desert tones mix that we see throughout Tucson as we drive from Gem Show to Gem Show. So, and I'll give you a close-up look. I've got one here in my hand. But what you do today, and it's good for today only, if you are watching this live today on January 27th, you go to beadshop.com and you create an order of $35 or more, and that's $35 after any discount you'd put in or before shipping. And then next, in your shipping notes, you write, I miss Tucson, and then place your order. And we will toss one of these little tubes, these nice seed bead tubes. Whoops, let me get this out of there. And let me get this on here. This nice little tube of ADOT seed beads. And then out of everyone who writes the I Miss Tucson in their order notes, it looks like we have 3 giveaways, 2 in copper and 1 in silver. We've got some of the succulents. You've got a Luna moth. You've got the leaf and the honeycomb and the bee. That'll go in there along with a famous TierraCast lip balm. So 3 orders will be chosen at random to receive those. And then we also today, if you go on our website, we're celebrating all things TierraCast, and that sale goes on today and tomorrow, January 27th and 28th. There's no code needed. They're already marked down. But if you go to our website and you put in, we've got a coupon code, I believe it's COZY15 when you spend $50 or more, it'll knock even more. You can stack it with that coupon. And if you're a member of our VIB rewards, you can also utilize your VIB rewards with those as well. We're going to have a few more TierraCast things go in later on this afternoon. So if you you're on, you can always add yourself to the waiting list and stuff, and we'll have a few more things that are going in a little bit later. So that's what we've got. So we've got a fun giveaway. We've got a fun sale that focuses on our beautiful TierraCast that we love so much. I'm going to put the 3 of us back on screen here. So, pardon me. So we can all, let me see if I can get us on there. There we are. And let me make it a pretty layout here. Maybe we can.
That's very pretty. I like
it. There we go. I like this one. This is the one I like. This is good. Well, Tracy, we want to thank you so much for taking the time. I hope that everyone enjoyed this kind of kooky broadcast. It was fun. Joanne is saying how much she loves that Luna moth. Melanie says thank you so much. She really enjoyed the broadcast. So we're really pleased that we were able to inspire you today.
I'm thrilled that you guys were so inspired by what was in those boxes. So we accomplished our mission. Yay.
Yeah.
Well, it was a fun virtual Tucson. I'm going to go put my classic mimosa in the fridge for maybe this weekend. You never know. But thank you so much for all of our snacks and these beautiful boxes, and that great inspiration photo. That mood board was really, really wonderful. We love those colors. So Janice and I will be meeting with Julie a little bit later on today. So you guys keep an eye out for some wonderful new things coming at us from TierraCast. So again, Tracy, thank you so much. Janice, I'm going to take Tracy out of the stream, and you and I are going to chat for just a second with everybody.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tracy.
Bye.
Thank you. So, Janice, we have a couple of things coming up for Free Tip Friday. Not this week, but next week we've got Free Tip Friday. It's the first Free Tip Friday of the month. So you and I are going to be bead doctoring.
Yes.
So we'll do that again, and it'll be in the newsletter. I also wanted to mention, and it's something that we were chatting a little bit about yesterday. We really want you guys to jump on to our newsletter. So if you go to beadshop.com, you can find all of the information on, well, not with this project, but many of our projects and products, and from today's broadcast on our website. Sign up for our newsletter, you guys, because that really is the way that we communicate our giveaways, our discounts, and our special live events. Drea writes our newsletter, and she's a wonderful writer, and there's always something great to learn from our newsletter there. So if you go right to beadshop.com, you will be able to see that. And again, of course, you can always find us on social, beadshop.com on our Insta. Join us over at the Bead Table, our Facebook group. And of course, you can follow and subscribe to us right on our YouTube website channel. And again, thank you so much. We're streaming out to a few different destinations today, including those with the Great Bead Extravaganza. So we really appreciate everybody joining us. So that's it. And Drea just jumped on and said she's going to make a project page for today to include some of the info on the pieces seen. So you'll see these again. Karen will take some photos, and we'll have some of our own inspiration from what we did today when we get these pieces up. So that's great. Thank you, Drea, for doing that. You and Karen are always on it. And Lynn wanted to say that she enjoyed this unboxing, so much fun, and loved everything. So thank you. So JP, thank you. I will see you next Friday on for Bead Doctor.
Right.
This Friday, I am finishing up our bead embroidery. We're going to revisit that on this Free Tip Friday coming up this Friday. And then next week, I am adding a new sample to one of our old favorites, our tapestry project. So I'm really excited by that. I think you guys love it. So with that, everyone, we'll see you on Friday for Free Tip Friday. Thank you again, and thank you again to Tracy from TierraCast. We really appreciate you and these wonderful boxes.
Yes.
Everybody have a fantastic day. Keep wearing your mask. Keep washing your hands. Your vaccine is coming soon. We'll be able to shop together and not have to have a virtual Tucson soon. So thanks, you guys. Thank you, JP, and we'll see all of you guys real soon.
Thank you all.